Veterans are going to test you, right? And if they feel that you've gotten more money or more publicity, they're upset about that.
Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing that.
Anyone following basketball knows that Caitlin Clark is a supernova, redefining the women's game with every play. NBA legends, the icons who live and breathe the sport, can't help but be captivated by her brilliance. Caitlin's electrifying talent has brought an unprecedented level of excitement to the WNBA, elevating the league in a way that few could have imagined. But here's where things get even juicier. Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time, has recently opened up about the Caitlin Clark drama and shared his thoughts on her future. MJ's take is a game changer, and his praise for Caitlin speaks volumes. Stay tuned, because what Jordan had to say is nothing short of extraordinary. During a broadcast, Caitlin Clark found herself in the spotlight, with the camera zooming in on her at just the right moment. Clyde Frasier, the legendary former Knicks player and now an analyst, couldn't resist making a comment. As viewers watched, you could sense a mix of humor and nostalgia in Clyde's voice, a playful challenge from an old-school legend to the young star on the rise. What Frasier said next caught everyone's attention, leaving fans buzzing and curious about what he really thought of Clark's game. Stay tuned, because his words were anything but ordinary.
It doesn't look that formidable. I could stop her.
Just put a ball in her hand. She is spectacular to watch.
While it's obvious that Frasier was just joking, his comment quickly gained attention, especially on social media, where many fans caught on to the humor. Still, even in jest, Clyde might want to reconsider challenging Caitlin Clark to a one-on-one these days. Considering her meteoric rise in the game, it's fair to say Clark could more than hold her own against the Hall of Famer. Larry Bird, one of the greatest players in basketball history, recently shared his thoughts on Caitlin Clark. Known for his understated yet powerful comments, Bird made a surprising remark that showcased just how captivated he was by Clark's performance. It's not every day that a player receives this kind of recognition from a legend like Bird, and it's clear that Caitlin has caught his attention in a big way. Without a doubt, Bird's words provide a unique perspective, one that connects his own history with the game to Caitlin's exciting rise. Here's what Larry Bird had to say.
I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa, Caitlin Clark play about the same last year, so I watched a lot of basketball.
Bird's comparison speaks volumes about the impact Caitlin is having, not just on fans, but on the very legends who laid the foundation of basketball excellence. To be mentioned alongside the kind of games Bird himself watched at Indiana State is a testament to how Caitlin's skill and excitement have transcended beyond women's basketball and into the larger sphere of the sport. It's this kind of acknowledgement from a legend like Bird that demonstrates just how special Caitlin Clark's journey is. With every game, she's not just changing perceptions, she's earning respect from the greats, solidifying her place as the future of the game. There are moments in basketball that transcend rivalry, moments where even the fiercest competitors are forced to acknowledge greatness. And that's exactly what happened when Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most prominent voices in basketball, decided to weigh in on Caitlin Clark. This isn't just any endorsement. It's coming from someone who has every reason to be on the other side of the fence. Despite his initial loyalty to Angel Reese, Shaq couldn't help but admire Caitlin's incredible skill, composure, and determination. What he said next showed a complete shift in perspective, and the respect for Caitlin was undeniable.
Now, I'm not Shaq, I'm a fan. Caitlin plays the right way. I've seen her on TV, and a lot of times we know that, on TV don't really translate to the court all the time. So I saw it, she makes the right play. Every time, not all the time, she makes her teammates better. She shoots the ball. She's a great player.
Shaq's praise for Caitlin Clark is a testament to the undeniable impact she's having on the game. To receive such recognition from an NBA legend like Shaq speaks volumes about her talent and the way she's changing the narrative in women's basketball. It's rare to see a player draw such genuine admiration from a figure who has been part of some of the most intense rivalries in the sport. Shaq's words highlight not only Caitlin's talent, but also her toughness and character, qualities that are earning her respect across all levels of the game. This moment isn't just about basketball. It's about breaking barriers, winning over doubters, and proving that Caitlin Clark is the real deal. Missing out on the biggest sports event of the year might have been a tough pill for Caitlin to swallow, but it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. At least, that's what legendary NBA center and three-time Defensive Player of the Year, Dwight Howard, believed. Back then, Howard suggested that Caitlin could use the time off to sharpen her skills and come back stronger for the second half of the season, and he was absolutely right. Looking back, Howard's comments seem almost prophetic as Caitlin went on to dominate just as he predicted.
She is a great player, but it's a lot of players that, no lie, who, as far as basketball-wise, they have the edge over her of why they should be playing in the Olympics right now. Mind you, this should motivate her. This should make her go harder in the gym. The 3 weeks that they off, she should get in better shape.
After the Olympic break, Caitlin Clark looked like a completely different player. While it's impossible to say exactly how much being left off the team fueled her fire, there's no denying she found her rhythm again. Missing out on the trip to Paris and potentially sitting on the bench for an already stacked roster may have been the best thing for her. Avoiding a situation that could have derailed her momentum or led to an unfortunate injury was a hidden blessing. Where others saw failure or disrespect, Dwight Howard saw an opportunity. He knew a player of Clark's caliber was in the perfect position to seize that moment and prove she was better than those who were picked ahead of her. Guys who don't have a huge media exposure are the most likely to give us their uncensored opinions, which is why we will start with a former player who isn't all over the airwaves in retirement. Jeff Teague was a quality starter for most of his 12 seasons in the league, and he was a one-time All-Star and won 1 NBA championship ring. But he never was a media darling or a highly marketable figure. Now retired, Teague felt free to criticize the WNBA for its treatment of Caitlin Clark as she entered the league with a huge fan base.
Like, they played this all wrong, bro.
Terribly, bro.
They was supposed to gas this shit. This is why people don't watch the shit when y'all leave college. Women's sports, because y'all hating on the best thing that's gonna happen to the W.
While you can argue that his delivery is raw, the main idea he is conveying is very reasonable. After years of furious debate about the gender pay gap in sports and repeated unsuccessful attempts to raise the visibility of WNBA, Caitlin's arrival has finally got things moving on those fronts, but she still endured a rough welcome. Teague just points out that such an attitude is damaging the league financially, while making it clear that he considers Caitlin to be worthy of better treatment by her peers and managers. NBA legend Rick Barry didn't mince words when it came to defending Caitlin Clark. In a powerful statement, Barry made it crystal clear that the relentless criticism Caitlin has faced from certain WNBA players stems from nothing but jealousy and fear of her exceptional talent. His words were direct and unflinching, putting those critics in their place. What Barry said is exactly what every Caitlin Clark doubter needs to hear. It underscores why she deserves every bit of respect she's earned.
I think it's reprehensible what they're allowing some of these players to. Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing that.
Barry's words resonated deeply with fans and players alike, reminding everyone of Caitlin's journey and the hurdles she's overcome. Hearing a legend like Barry publicly acknowledge the unfair treatment and stand up for Caitlin was a powerful moment, shining a spotlight on the jealousy that has often driven her critics. It also served as a reminder that true greatness, like Caitlin's, often intimidates those who aren't ready to accept it. Barry's support has only amplified Caitlin's standing, and the respect she's earned is now more evident than ever. NBA great George Gervin also stepped forward to defend Caitlin Clark, and his words carried just as much weight. Gervin didn't hold back in addressing the disrespect Caitlin has faced, making it clear that her talent deserves admiration, not criticism. His statement made waves, sending a powerful message to all the doubters. Caitlin's greatness is undeniable, and even the legends recognize it. Brace yourselves, because Gervin's passionate defense is about to silence the naysayers.
They don't know the value that she's bringing for all of them. She bringing, they flying private planes now. They weren't flying private before she came. They on major networks now. They weren't doing that. See, she remind me of Tiger Woods for golf.
Caitlin Clark has quickly gained grassroots support from Indianapolis fans, but she still can't compare with some of the basketball heroes from the past when it comes to local love. On the very top of the list of most beloved Indiana ballers of all time is the elite three-point marksman and cutthroat competitor Reggie Miller, who spent all of his 18 seasons wearing a #31 Pacers jersey. While you might expect Miller to show some respect to Clark as the new savior of his town, he went the opposite way and basically said that every rookie must learn how to deal with adversity and competition.
What did you expect was going to happen to her? Number one, I don't think it's jealousy. Oh my God, she's getting all the endorsements. We're going to go after her. You're playing at the highest level. You're playing in the WNBA. You're coming from college and you're going to the pro ranks, right? What did she expect was going to happen? Why are people so shocked, right? You're playing against grown women. The same thing happened to us.
Reggie Miller played in the old-school NBA where physicality was the norm, and his perspective on hard fouls might not fully apply to today's game. But let's be clear. Caitlin Clark is facing challenges beyond just competitiveness. She's enduring unnecessary hostility. It was never realistic to expect WNBA players to simply welcome Caitlin without a fight. But the level of resistance she has encountered goes beyond earning her place. It feels like an attempt to push her down. Caitlin's journey is about more than just earning respect. It's about demanding fair treatment, even if it means standing tall against the odds. This stands in stark contrast to how Michael Jordan approached the ongoing drama surrounding Caitlin Clark. Later, we will explore MJ's perspective, which shows a clear difference compared to Reggie's regrettable comments. Vince Carter's legendary run as the face of Toronto basketball was far from easy. His journey as the Raptors' marquee player was filled with hardships that tested his resilience and impacted his game. Carter knows firsthand the struggles that come with being in the spotlight, which is why he wasn't surprised to see the rookie hazing that Caitlin Clark is facing. He understands that this kind of treatment comes with the territory, especially for rookies who are as popular and talented as Caitlin.
You got to earn your stripes, and remember this. I say this all the time. This is not I say this understanding NIL is what it is.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But when you go to the professional world and you're in competition against other professionals who are trying to feed their family,
mortgage
They'll
payments.
give you the business.
What?
Every time.
I got to feed my family.
Hey, they not about to let you look good. You're not about to look
player,
good.
Well, guess what? I need to make my name. I need to do my thing against you.
It's a professional league now, and that makes all the difference from her college playing days. There are much larger stakes. These stakes will only become greater as the league gets more coverage, and Caitlin starts playing in games with more pressure. Everyone will be out to get her during those situations. The competition that she is facing now is exponentially greater than what she's seen ever before in college. Barkley has pinpointed the core issue of the Caitlin Clark saga. Healthy competition is one thing, but petty and malicious behavior is another. There have been instances where opponents have knocked Clark to the floor with no legitimate basketball reason behind it. While some argue that players should be appreciative of Clark's talent instead of combative, Barkley believes there is another group to blame for the entire situation.
They cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they try. People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit. This girl is incredible. The number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you say to yourself, damn, what is going on here?
You can't blame Barkley for being irritated by what he sees as injustice. WNBA sees Caitlin Clark as a cash cow, but it doesn't do enough to protect her on the floor and promote her as the future flag bearer of the league. Part of that comes from corporate caution, as the decision makers prefer to let the season play out before they formulate a strategy around Caitlin Clark's rapid ascent to superstardom. The other part may indeed be related to personal dislike of Clark among some key media members, and that's just not acceptable in a professional environment. On a recent episode of the Bill Simmons podcast, Sports Media Personality, Bill Simmons didn't hold back, making a striking claim about Caitlin Clark's influence in the world of basketball. Simmons highlighted Clark's remarkable rise, pointing to her transformative impact on the WNBA. From her record-shattering rookie season to the incredible level of viewership and fan engagement she has sparked, it's clear Caitlin is changing the game. What Simmons said next left everyone talking, as he drew a surprising comparison between Caitlin and the top young NBA stars. Stay tuned, because his words are bound to stir up some strong reactions.
Is Caitlin Clark a bigger under 30 star than any under 30 star in the NBA? I think she is.
Absolutely.
Too. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't even think that's a debate. I literally did not care about women's college basketball 10 years ago in any way, shape, or form. So I think some things have moved toward just the quality to play is more fun to watch.
Bill Simmons' bold assertion was more than just an offhand comment. It was a genuine recognition of Caitlin Clark's growing influence on the sport. Comparing her to the top under 30 NBA stars highlights not only her individual talent, but also the broader cultural shift she's contributing to. 10 years ago, women's college basketball might not have had the spotlight it does today, but Caitlin's talent and presence have undeniably pushed the sport forward. The fact that someone like Simmons, who admittedly wasn't invested in the women's game before, is now captivated speaks volumes. It reflects how Caitlin's performance has transcended traditional boundaries, turning doubters into believers and putting the women's game on the map in a way that's impossible to ignore. Allen Iverson sees this talent as well. He has stated in a short interview what it is about Caitlin Clark that makes her such a game changer for the league. He took the time to highlight her special set of skills and mindset towards the game of basketball.
man, shoot the blood out of the ball. You know what I mean? I never seen anything like it. You know what I mean? And then just how aggressive she is, you know, and not just scoring in basketball, getting her teammates involved as well. I think she's so great for the game. You know what I mean? It was a pleasure watching her, and I just think down the road, she's going to only get better.
It's no surprise where Allen Iverson's priorities go in terms of how to praise Caitlin Clark. He is quick to give her the credit she deserves as an amazing offensive engine, because that's also how he played during his peak years. They were both given the majority of the scoring responsibility for their respective teams immediately as they came into the league. The aggression that Allen Iverson mentions is something that is required from that role. The attribute that allows an offensive initiator to be an all-time great is their elite playmaking ability. That is something that comes naturally to Caitlin Clark, even while she's the least experienced player on her team. These types of players are floor risers. They make everyone around them better through their gravity and their unselfishness. Iverson was able to carry a team of lackluster offensive talent into the NBA Finals from his singular ability to score at will. Let's see what Caitlin will be able to do during her prime. Allen Iverson said that she will only keep getting better down the road, so there's no doubt she will learn how to raise her team's floor even higher. Hopefully, the Indiana Fever find a way to build the right pieces of role players around Caitlin Clark so she can get into the bigger stages that Iverson was able to get to. Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time, recently spoke out on the Caitlin Clark drama, offering his perspective on her journey and what he believes is best for her future. Jordan's comments were both insightful and supportive, recognizing the intense scrutiny Caitlin has faced this season. With his experience in dealing with pressure and being under the media microscope, Jordan's words carried significant weight. This is what he had to say. "Caitlin's got that fire, that drive that only the great ones have," Jordan said. "But let's be real. Some of the players in the league are targeting her for all the wrong reasons. They see her talent, her rise, and it's got them feeling threatened. What Caitlin needs to do is keep her head down, focus on her game, and show them what true greatness looks like. All the criticism, all the pettiness, she has to let it fuel her, not let it break her. The best way to answer them is by proving time and time again that she belongs at the top." Jordan's advice makes it clear that he sees something special in Caitlin, something that reminds him of his own battles with critics and doubters during his career. His message was one of resilience, encouraging Caitlin to rise above the drama and let her game speak louder than any of the noise around her. For Jordan to publicly address Caitlin in this way is a testament to her potential and the impact she is already making on the sport. Steph Curry himself had to chime in on Caitlin Clark. There's been comparisons of Steph Curry's shooting form with the similar form of Caitlin Clark. They both have that blindingly quick release time that stuns defenders, but their games have way more to it than just that weapon. Steph himself has observed that special aspect from Caitlin Clark. To be like Steph, you don't just have to have the skill to shoot like Steph. You need to perform. Turn the game into a show for the crowd. You also have to have more to your game than that. Find ways to make your team better and affect the game even when the ball isn't in your hands. That's what separates Steph's greatness from all the other guards that have been practicing their three-point shot. It's no wonder why people have asked Steph a lot about Caitlin Clark, and it's cool that Steph has been outspoken with his praise.
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot is like that. It's at that level. If you really watch, like, her floor game is as impressive. So it's kind of the total package, and her being the Fred breaking that record, and the amount of attention that she has gained over the course of these last couple of years. Every building she goes into, there's a different energy. Like, it's great for her, great for women's basketball.
Steph represented the NBA during a landmark three-point shootout with the WNBAs. It was a thrilling matchup that was close until the end, with Steph edging out the win. Maybe now that NBA versus WNBA three-point shootouts have been established, Caitlin Clark could have a shot at going toe-to-toe with her idol too. She has declined to join the three-point contest so far, but is open to it in the future, she says. "I know all of our fingers are crossed that she does." If Caitlin Clark wants to find some solace in the words of NBA legends, it's best to listen only to those who have the resumes to back their opinions. Former MVP and NBA champion Kevin Garnett has a reputation as one of the hardest workers in his sport, and his famous toughness and bravado helped him overcome countless challenges during a 21-year NBA career. Nicknamed the Big Ticket, Garnett joined the NBA straight out of high school, and was soon feared on both ends of the court, so he has a unique perspective on how basketball stars are made.
Caitlin Clark go through shit. I'm watching all, man, rookies, you're gonna go through some shit. And guess what? When you're it, when you got the bullseye on your back, yeah, when you it, it's gonna come with some shit. Ain't nobody hitting y'all with the step back in the high. Yeah, it's a compliment. Yeah, you fear.
Not only does Garnett think it is normal for a rookie to deal with rough play and taunting, he believes it is a stepping stone toward greatness. The best ones have to prove their worth, and through that process, the special players build their winning mentality. According to him, Caitlin should take the attention from defenses as a sign of respect and just go with the flow. It's an interesting point of view, even if it may not be shared by all retired NBA players. The legend of Caitlin Clark continues to grow, and it's especially evident in how the biggest names in basketball are speaking about her. Ever since she started making waves and her team entered the playoff picture, more and more people are recognizing her as the real deal, to borrow Shaq's words. There's an old saying, game recognizes game, and when certified masters of the sport offer their support, it carries far more weight than the opinions of journalists who never set foot on the court. These NBA legends were all rookies once, and they understand just how much potential Caitlin has to grow from here. They also recognize how pivotal her success could be for the future of women's basketball. Rest assured, some of the greatest players in NBA history are closely following Caitlin Clark's journey, cheering her on as she aims to rewrite the record books and revolutionize the business of the sport.